Hi guys, may adlaw. Sa karon nga video, I will be presenting to you about graphs of exponential functions. This is the continuation of the previous two lessons in my previous videos about solving exponential equations and solving exponential inequalities. So, hopefully, before kanitanawan ni nga video, natan-aw na to ninyo ang previous two videos nako about solving exponential equations and solving exponential inequalities. Before I proceed, ayaw kalimot pag-subscribe, like, and share, especially sa inyong mga friends nga incoming grade 11 students. Okay? So, ari sa ta sa lesson objectives. So, naatay tulo ka lesson objectives. Number 1, at the end of this video, you should be able to sketch the graph of exponential function. Number 2, you should be able to find the domain and range of an exponential function. Number 3, you should be able to represent exponential functions through its graph, table of values, and equation. Let us have first the definition of exponential function. So we have here the exponential function f with base a is defined by, so this is the standard form for exponential function. F of x is equal to a raised to x. Okay? Ang uban b raised to x na siya. But for this video, I will be using a raised to x, where a should be greater than 0 and a should not be equal to 1. Later, ato ning may bawaan nga nung a should be greater than 0 and a should not be equal to 1. And x is any real number. So x is any real number. So there is no restrictions in the domain for this specific function. So let's try some examples. So we'll apply this definition to some examples. Remember, again, our focus is to plot the graph of the exponential function. So illustrative example. For example, we are given this function. F of x is equal to 2 raised to x. In this case, our a is 2, which is greater than 0, of course, because a is greater than 0, but not equal to 1. So, 2 raised to x. Now, we will plot the graph of this function. So, how do we plot the graph of this function? First things first is kinahanglan ta og mga ordered pairs. So, we need to have an ordered pair in order for us to plot the graph of this function. Now, according to the definition, ang kanang x are real numbers. So meaning, we can choose any real numbers as the domain. For example, we will use these domains here. Negative 1, no, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. We will solve for our range, the f of x or the y. So what are these values? Using this function and the domains here. So for example, ato ni i-substitute ang negative 2 to the function. So mahimo ni negative 2 as the domain. So ang x nato diha ilisan og negative 2. F of negative 2 is equal to 2 raised to negative 2. Now, since the exponent is negative, kung nakaremember pa mo sa atong exponential equation o exponential inequalities, if the exponent is negative, kinahanglan siya a reciprocal. So, nag-reciprocal ani, mahimo na ning positive. So, that becomes 1 over 2 raised to 2. Asam di gikan ang 1? Kanang 1, gikan na diri sa over assume 1 man na diha. So, pag reciprocal, so ang 1, instead nga nasa ubos, maadto na sa babaw. Nya kini, instead na sa babaw, maari na sa ubos. Pag abot sa ubos, mahimo na siyang positive. Okay? So, mahimo ni siyang 1 over 2 squared, which is 1 over 4. So, ang atong y, kung x is negative 2, ang atong y is 1 over 4. Now, let's proceed if our x, or if the domain is negative 1. So, if the domain is negative 1, substitute sa function, mahimo na siyang 2 raised to negative 1, kaya x is negative 1. So, since negative mo ni siya, the same gyapon diri ganina, so atong i-reciprocal. Mahimo ni siyang 1 over 2 or 1 half. Anong 1 half man? Kay again, anay assume 1 diha. So, 1 over 2 ang 2 na siya i-assume exponent 1. So, pwede na siya gilibutang 1. So, if x is negative 1, y is positive 1 half. Now, kini, pwede na nato dili ibutang diri ang solution kay mao ra man gyapon gamay ra tong space. So ato lang ni substitute if x is 0, if x is 0, so kung 0 na natay rule na kung any value raised to 0 is equal to 1. So 2 raised to 0, 1 ra na siya. Now, another kung x is 1, so mahimo ning 2 raised to 1 which is 2. Kung x is 2, mahimo ning 2 raised to 2 which is 4. Kung x is 3, so mahimo ning 2 raised to 3 which is 8. Mao na ni ang atong table of values para ani nga function. This is now our table of values for this function using the domain negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now let's proceed. For example, natay laing function. This time, ganina kay greater than 1. This time, arita sa less than 1. So, f of x is equal to 1 half quantity raised to x. The same yapon, we need the table of values. Natay domain and range. So, we will use the same domain. Negative 1, negative 2, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Ang karon, kung x is 2, 3. Kung x is negative 2. So, pila man ang y. So, natay x is negative 2. Nakaroon, parehas kung gingon ganina, kung ang exponent kay negative, i-reciprocal. So, mahimo na siyang 2 squared. Yan, reciprocal, ma-positive na ni siya. Then, assume 1 mo na. Namni 1, assume 1, that is 1 squared 1 or 1, pwede na natin is what? So, 2 squared is 4. So, if x is negative 2, y is 4. Now, if x is negative 1, if x is negative 1, so nag-reciprocal ana, mahimo ng 2 raised to 1. So, meaning 2 raised to 1 is 2. The same gyapon, if x is 0, kung 0 no, ni siya, any number raised to 0 kay 1 man, so this is 1. Then, if x is 1, kung 1 is siya, any number raised to 1 is the same number, so that is 1 half. Now, if x is 2, this is 1 half squared, so 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. So this is 1/4. This is 1/4. Now, if x is 3, so 1 cube is 1, 2 cube is 8, so this is 1/8. So, mauna ni siya ang atong table of values para sa aning function. Mauna sad ni siya ang atong table of values para sa aning function. Now, let's proceed sa iyang graph. Kung ato ning i-plot ang iyang graph using this table of values nga atong nakuha ganina, ato ning tagsa-tagsaon. So, we will have the first ordered pair, negative 2 and 1/4. So, this is negative 2, approximately, ato lang ang yung ibana-bana, this is our 1/4. This is our first point, negative 2 and 1/4, negative 2 and 1/4. Next, negative 1 and 1/2. This is negative 1 and 1/2. So, approximately na atong point diha. Next, 0 and 1. 0 and 1. So, approximately na atong point dira. Sunod, 1 and 2. We have here 1 and this is 2. We have this point here. Next, 2 and 4. We have 2 and 4. This is 4, this is 2, so 2 and 4, this is our point. Then last, 3 and 8. So we have here 3 and 8. Huwag man tayo 8, ato na lang i-approximate. 7 ni, arin na lang nato ang atong 8 ra. Okay. Connect these points. We will now have this graph. This is now the graph of the function f of x equals 2 raised to x. So, mauna na siya ang graph sa aning nga function using aning nga mga ordered pairs. Okay? Next, let's proceed to the next function. Kini greater than 1. Now this time, we will have less than 1 greater than 0. So this value is in between 0 and 1. So 1 half quantity raised to x. Ang atong ordered pairs, table of values kanina, the same. Now karon kini, negative 2 manino, ato lang ni pun og negative 3 diri. Kung negative 3 ni, so mahimo ning reciprocal ana, mahimo ning 2 cube. So kung negative 3, ang mahimong 2 cube, that means 2 cube is 8. So kung negative 3 ang x, ang y is positive 8. So ato lang na pun ana aron mapares-parehas na to diri. Ang karon, so we have negative 3. Kung negative 3 ni niya atong 8, so naa diri sa babaw. This is our first point. Sunod, negative 2 and 4. So this is negative 2 and positive 4. Ana. Kaduha. Next, this is negative 1 and positive 2. Negative 1 and positive 2. Okay, third point. Kaupat. 0 and 1. 0 and 1. So 0 and 1. So natong point dira. Sunod, 1 and 1 half. X is 1, y is 1 half. Natong point diri. Sunod, 2 and 1 fourth. X is 2, y is 1 fourth. Approximately na dira. Kamay. And last, 3 and 1 8. Pinakagamay na yun. 3 and 1 8. Okay. Approximately na ara na dira pero wala na mo tungtong wala na mo tungtong sa 3. Naagi na diha. Na ibabaw-babaw gamay sa 3. Hantod magkagamay na siya. Then connect the points. Now, this is the graph of the function f of x equals 1 half quantity raised to x. Mauna ni siya ang graph para ani nga function. Yeah, mauna sad ni siya ang graph para ani nga function. Now, as you have observed, the graph of these two functions moves closer and closer to 0. Tanawa, ang y diri, y0, moves closer and closer to 0. Kini sad siya moves closer to 0. Whatever value we will assign to x, it will never cross 0. It will never cross this line. Kining linya ha. Dili na mo cross aning linya. Dili na mo cross sa y equals 0. So, isay tawag na to aning linya ha. This is called the asymptote. So, dili naman tawag ko aning asymptote. Sa rational function, this is called horizontal asymptote. Okay? So, this is our horizontal asymptote para aning duha ka function. Next is, as you have observed, our a is greater than 1. A is greater than 1. And the graph curves to the right. Now, this is what we call increasing graph or exponential graph. Okay? If the graph curves to the right, it is an increasing graph or exponential graph. This will only happen if a is greater than 1. Now, on the other hand, for the specific example, as you have observed, a is less than 1 or greater than 0. So a is in between 0 and 1. Now, this is what we call decreasing graph. The graph curves to the left. This is what we call decreasing graph or exponential decay. As an example na to ang exponential graph. One best example sa exponential graph is the transmission of COVID-19 virus. Meaning, ni-grow siya exponentially. For example, one person infected, maka-infect siya another at least 4 or 5 persons. So that is growing exponentially. So that is called exponential growth. Now, sa exponential decay, example ang exponential decay, for example, natay bacteria, sa atong lawas natay bacteria, natay sakit, na ay 1,000 ka bacteria sa atong lawas. Kihatagan tagtambal. After pila ka oras ni decrease ang number of bacteria to 500. Then another tambal ni decrease to 250 until nawala. So that is what we call exponential decay. Hantod na ayo ka exponential decay. Okay? Let's proceed to the next. Let's proceed to the properties of these two graphs. Ari sa first graph of the function f of x equals 2 raised to x. Then the second graph, we have the function f of x equals 1/2 raised to x. Again, this is increasing graph or exponential growth, then is because this is decreasing graph or this is exponential decay, horizontal asymptote. Now the characteristics of this graph is following. For exponential function defined by this graph, okay, f of x equals a raised to x. So yung ani, a raised to x, our a is 2. Then here our a is 1/2. Then a are positive real numbers. Then a should not be equal to 1. These are the following characteristics. Number 1. If we are to analyze these graphs here, the domain is a set of real numbers, meaning these values in the x-axis are part of the domain. All values, all real numbers are part of the domain. There is no restriction for this specific function. Let's proceed to the range. The range are positive real numbers. Nganong positive real numbers man? Because as I have mentioned earlier, kining graph, bisag asa aning graph nilang duha, move ra ni siya closer and closer to 0, which is this asymptote ng broken line, move closer and closer to 0 but will never cross 0. Meaning, di siya moadto sa negative. So, mo ng positive real numbers ang iyang range. Di siya pwedeng ma-negative. Kaya ang iyang boundary kay ang 0. Kaya kung wala pa siya sa 0, meaning, apil na ang negative. Okay? Even 0 is not part of the range. Mao sa na diri sa ikaduha. Okay, next. The y-intercept is the point 0, 1. As you have observed sa graph sa duha, the first graph, the first function, naa kay point 0, 1. Ang second function, naa sa kay point 0, 1. Mao ni gitawag nato og y-intercept, point 0, 1. Meaning, whatever kind of function of this form will always cross the point 0, 1. Bisag unsa nga function of this form. Okay? Meaning, bisag 3 raised to x, 4 raised to x, 5 raised to x. Any function of this form, this standard form, will always cross this point 0, 1. Next. The graph is asymptotic to the x-axis. So, as I mentioned earlier, kining graph asymptotic siya ang atong asymptote ang x-axis, or the horizontal asymptote is the x-axis. So, meaning dili siya mo-cross ani. Next, it is 1-to-1 function. It is 1-to-1. Of course, kung ato mag-draw ta og horizontal line dira, it will only cross the graph once. Kini sa pikas, mag-draw ta horizontal line, kausar yun na siya mo-cross. So, that is 1-to-1. Then the function is increasing. Mag-consulti ganina. The function is increasing if a is greater than 1. So if a is greater than 1, this is increasing or exponential growth. And the function is decreasing if a is in between the values 0 and 1, which is exponential decay or decreasing graph. Now let's proceed to the next example. How about we will have the translation of the graphs of exponential functions. So this is now translation with reference to the standard form. So arita sa iyang standard ng graph, which is f of x equals 2 raised to x. Now how about natin translation? For example, you are told to plot the graph of this function. Kini ang atong i-plot. Lahi siya sa forma diri nga kay f of x equals 2 raised to x minus 3. So sa may apekto aning negative 3 diri. Okay, now, the same gyapon, 2 raised to x minus 3. Unsa may epekto ani? Now, kung ato ni i-plot ang graph ani nga function, tanawa ang akong illustration diri ha. The graph will move pila ka units. Okay? The graph will move 3 units downward. So, nata original diri, original function. Ni-move siya down, ni-move ko sa 1, 2, and 3. Balik. This is our original function. This is our reference function. F of x equals 2 raised to x. Then we are to plot this graph. 2 raised to x minus 3. So, ang epekto sa minus 3 diri is just that the original graph, kining original graph will just move 3 units downward. Okay, so meaning mo na original nimo 3 units downward, 1, 2, and 3. Kining broken line diri, kining broken line mo ni siya ang graph ani nga function. Okay? So mo ni atong reference graph, mo ni reference function nato. Gibutangan nato minus 3. So ni move ra siya 3 units downward. The same, this time, ganina, ang atong horizontal asymptote is kay ang y equals 0. This time, ang atong horizontal asymptote now is the y is equal to negative 3. So, kanina ang negative 3. Okay? So, kanina negative 3. So, ang atong horizontal asymptote karon ay ang negative 3. Now, kung pangitaon na to ang domain ug range ani, the domain is still the same, real numbers, but ang range mausab na. Dili na tong positive real numbers. Karon mausab na ang atong boundary naa naman sa negative 3. So meaning ang atong range ani will be y is greater than 3. Y labot less than, y labot 4, 3, negative 4, negative 3.1, negative 3.5, y labot na dira. E mao man ni ang boundary na negative 3. So mao ni ang atong range is from negative 3 as the boundary upward greater than, so y is greater than negative 3. Okay, let's proceed to another one. How about the same gyapon, the translation of the graph of exponential function? Natay original function diha, the same gyapon, f of x equals 2 raised to x. How about kung minus man to ganina? Kung plus 3 ni siya, plus 3. So, unsa may porma sa graph nato ani ron? So opposite gyapon gani na kay moves 3 units downward, karon kay plus 3 mo-move na siya 3 units upward. Okay, so now the original reference function nato dre, reference graph 0, reference graph 1 moves 3 units upward, 1, 2, 3. So this is now our graph of the function f of x equals 2 raised to x plus 3. Okay? So, ni-move ra siya 3 units upward. 1, 2, and 3. Now, this time, our horizontal asymptote is now the line y equals 3. Kining y equals 3 mo ano ni ang atong positive ni. Y equals 3 mo ano ni ang atong horizontal asymptote. So, therefore, kung atong faon ang domain ani, the same gyapon, the domain are real numbers, but the range are y is greater than 3. So, wala na sa nilabot ni diring ubos. So, ang atong range ani is y is greater than positive 3. Okay, next. How about kung ingon ani, given ka, f of x equals 2 raised to x minus 3. This time, ang atong 3 is nasa exponent. Wala diri sa ubos, nasa exponent. Okay, reference kaya po nato ang atong original function. Okay, this is our original function. F of x equals 2 raised to x. How about, butangan na siya og minus 3. Kasi may tabuan nga graph, this will move 3 units to the right. The graph will move 3 units to the right. So this is the original graph. So we start from 1, 2, and 3. So this graph, this broken line, this is now the graph of f of x equals 2 raised to x minus 3. Okay, for example, kung 4 na, so 4 units sad. Kung 5 units sad. Okay, next, how about kung kini? F of x equals 2 raised to x plus 3. Kanina, minus 2, karon plus 3 na sad. Isend gyapon ang atong reference graph kay ang f of x equals 2 raised to x. So this time, nagyapon tayo horizontal asymptote, ang atong graph, ang opposite ganina, will move 3 units to the left. So, we have here 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So, this is now our graph of this function f of x equals 2 raised to x plus 3. Now, kung ako ning tan-aw ng iyang domain, the same gyapon ng iyang domain, real numbers, the same gyapon ng iyang range, y is greater than 0. So to summarize, for the function f of x equals 2 raised to x plus 3, we have here, with the reference graph na to ganina nga f of x equals 2 raised to x, the graph will move 3 units to the left. 3 units to the left. Then the domain are real numbers, then the range are y is greater than 0. Next is f of x equals 2 raised to x minus 3. The graph will move 3 units to the right. Then the domain are real numbers, then the range are y is greater than 0. Then for f of x is equal to 2 raised to x plus 3, the graph will move 3 units upward. 3 units upward. This time, the domain are real numbers and the range are y is greater than 3. Okay. Kung for example, plus 4 na siya, so 4 units upward. Kung plus 5, so 5 units upward. Now, let's proceed to the next function. f of x is equal to 2 raised to x minus 3. So the graph will move 3 units downward. The domain are real numbers and the range are y is greater than negative 3. Okay, so that's it. I hope you have learned something. Then, again, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share to your friends. Then, kung may questions, again, do not forget to write in the comment section below. Before I go, I want to leave this with you. Math is the only place where truth and beauty mean the same thing. That is by Danica McKellar. So thank you and God bless.